Hello folks, welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Today earlier, just because I will be busy this evening and still a little bit foggy in my mind, to be honest. It was a very hard weekend and very tough time at the moment. First of all, thank you for every message, pray you send to me. We still hope that it's going to work. However, this week is going to be very tough. I need to go to Berlin this week once again. Wednesday, I will stay there for a few days, and I will check and try to prepare my equipment, my notebook and so on, just in a way that I can provide at least to make a short stream or just to provide the analysis. I will try. If not, I had to turn off the billing, so that Substack is not going to charge for all that time, and we will see. We will find a way, right? Let us talk about the markets, what's happening, what I think is going to happen next. I mean, at the moment, the price is going up, I think. It makes sense. I'm still expecting to retest 19,750, but in my opinion, we will go down, hitting 18,750. We will see when it's going to happen, but it shouldn't take that long. In my opinion, we should retest 19,750 before we will go down once again. I mean, tomorrow we also have some economical events that could have an effect to the market, like the ECB consumer confidence for October, for example. This week in general is going to be very, very interesting. Thursday, it's going to be Thursday and Friday, in my opinion, will be very interesting days. Thursday, a lot of different EU events, but okay, including the interest rate decision, but also the GDP in the US for the Q3. And the day after, it's going to be also a very exciting day with the core PCE price index once again, that could give us a nice insight to the conditions of the inflation in the US. Well, as you see, the wealth ratio 30 days moving average is lifting up even more as expected, indicating weights are still in preparation. We had, since we reached that level here, it's a really rising volume in that part here without any big consequence to the price action. We need to see if that's going to maintain at that level. In my opinion, everything depends on volume, meaning that they can here protect as much as they want. It doesn't matter. If they start to push down very hard like they did, for example, last year and even this year, they will break. Doesn't mean we will see 10,000, doesn't mean we will see 14,000, even I have my doubts we will see 16,000. But maybe to make such a spring low level, retest 17.6, maintain there a little bit, maybe go a little bit more down, and that's it. And afterwards, still to go up once again to 19k and so on and so forth. The whole game we know since a while, right? And that's what in my opinion is going to happen next. This year looks very like preparation. We need to see what's going to happen next. Usually when it's lifting up, we don't see the result, the output, but when it starts to decline, it's when usually we start to see that. That explains also not only the promos of different centralized exchanges where you can trade spot without to pay any fees, but you know, I think we will see how if bulls really just can. I need to make a break. It's stormy here today, so we need to see. We need really to see what's going to happen. In my opinion, many people feel just comfortable here at that level, and in my opinion, that's going to be the trap. We will go down even more, but as mentioned, I mean, we can go and even go lower than 17.6, but my expectations of to see this year something like 10,000. I mean, possible. It is possible. It is absolutely possible. So if they start to sell 100,000, 150,000 bitcoins, good luck with all these exchange walls we have there. Nobody will care about that. They will nuke it. But in my opinion, that's not going to happen. In my opinion, they know very well that an exit rally or relief rally or however you want to call it will happen at the end of this year and the beginning of next. So in my opinion, it doesn't make any sense now to push hard that much anymore. Maybe just the last spring before we go up without to see any big accumulation. Some newspapers think, I don't know why they are telling that, but that big waves are accumulating. I don't see that. Some of them use data from, for example, Wales Map, where I have the confirmation by Wales Map that they are not making any difference between entities linked to exchanges and entities related to private wallets. For me, if they can't make such separation, it's worthless, because of course centralized exchanges have their own operations, but doesn't mean that these operations, when they are getting 50,000 bitcoins, for example, meaning someone is accumulating. It's, for me, senseless. However, that's how it looks here. Let us go forward. We see that once again the Wales ratio dumped once, so I was expecting actually this little trap. I would say that's really just a little trap that happened yesterday night, something relatively uncommon in the last few months, that they just let a gap here because we closed the CME Friday here, so it's obvious we will go down once again. So to close also this little gap what we let just last Friday. But however, it's not a big business. That was just a pump a dump in my opinion, and that's why I started to close my long here to short, and now I'm hedging once again because I'm expecting even if we go down, we'll go up once again, and so on. And that's the whole boring story we are seeing all the time. So the best way here is really to trade the swing. I wouldn't expect at the moment at least any sharp price move, not today, maybe in the next coming days, and we need to see how the XY is going to what kind of progress is going to do. In my opinion, it will go up once again. I don't know if it's not yet, but it's going to happen, and so that could give us the opportunity to make such kind of as mentioned of a spring, for example. So if we take a look here, we see that they, in my opinion, just centralized exchanges here refilled their reserves, because it doesn't look organic, and usually when weights are doing it after their operation, they start to decline. It's not happening at all. So while we are, I'm detecting bigger outflows as usual from Binance. So just for today, we already had 130 millions. So, but we also need to be very careful with CryptoQuant data, because they are still illustrating this 48,000 Bitcoins from Coinbase, where we have the proof that was an insider job, that was just an internal operation. So yeah, that's why we need at least another source just to verify the data. It doesn't matter if it's CryptoQuant, by the way. However, the weights ratio 30 hours moving average is lifting up, hitting 90% and stabilizing below of 88. That's something we also just mentioning. They are pushing the price down. That's why once again it failed at 19,440. Now it just went $100 down. That's it. But if we go up and maintain a buff of 90%, that's critical. Not happening yet. Stablecoin supply also maintaining right now, so not reduced anymore since last Friday. So also here, very, very calm everything. Let us go forward. So here we have the inflow activity, and to be honest, also here nothing big. I mean, the biggest one was Saturday, where we had just in 2 hours almost 2,600 Bitcoins. Also confirmation, weights ratio dumped here, almost here. And afterwards we receive in a weekend a big inflow. It was for me obvious we will go up and afterwards down, and that's what happens. That's why I love metrics, because it gives us just the opportunity to verify price moves in advance. Yeah, at the moment, just nothing happening. So really relatively low everything. Inflow activity in the last 2 hours, 600 Bitcoin. So it's nothing. Even here, outflows maintaining relatively low. So really nothing happening at the moment. Absolutely very, very calm. That's why also, for example, on exchanges, the activity is declining even more and more and more. It's going to be, in my opinion, a big challenge. I'm still convinced that we will see a relief rally, but that has to be triggered by some positive event. I still don't know what it could be, while we still have on our back the risk of a black swan. I still think it's not over. And that's a problem right now. I mean, that's something that metrics will not show you. Only if insiders are trading it in advance, then we will see that. Weights ratio could be an indicator, but we don't know why they are sending their bitcoins to centralized exchanges. So it's, I still think we will see such a relief rally, because they know 2023, 2024 is going to be hard for the market. In my opinion, the Fed is using the monetary policy as a tool of a geopolitical tool of the United States. It's not because, as mentioned many times, if you see that the global system is disrupted, you can try to fight the fire in your home, while from uproad someone is putting more gas to the fire. So it's an unlimited fight against the fire, and that's what the Fed is going to do. And that's what I mentioned many times in the past, that the inflation will decline, but not because of the Fed, just because, or indirectly, not because of the interest rate decisions, just because people will see that the economy is shrinking, and they will see around them what's happening, and they will start to adapt their consume behavior. And that's where, of course, inflation will start to decline. As mentioned in different analysis, people will start to save money, or just they don't have the money to spend. And all the companies with filled warehouses will start to reduce the prices. And of course, that neutralized partly or even the whole inflation rate. But that's not healthy, and that's not bullish at all, because that will send us directly to a deflation. And so that's the situation I see at the moment. And so also, the Fed can stop to rise interest rates at the end of the year when they see that inflation is declining. And in my opinion, markets will use this opportunity, and in my opinion, they know it's going to happen. They will use this opportunity as a bullish scenario, FOMO retailers back again. And they know it's going to be the last relief rally for a long, long, long time. So, yeah, we'll see. It's going to be very exciting. Let us go forward. So, what's happening to the future market? We see the funding rate right now is declining, but it was lifting up all the time. Now it seems it's declining. Open interest did almost the same, just didn't went up that much, but also here declining at the moment, because also liquidating longs and leverage ratio doing the same. Related to the flow activities, to be honest, even that looks big, it isn't. Not really. I mean, we are talking still about 3,000 bitcoins in 1 hour to derivative exchanges, while the funding rate at the moment it's declining. So maybe we are not going to retest 1975 and going down directly to 18,750 or something, and that's absolutely possible. So I mean, if we zoom out a little bit, you see that's not a big deal what's happening here. However, it's a big deal compared to the last few 2 to 3 weeks at the moment. So that's here the biggest volume detected today, and today mostly, with 3,133 bitcoins to derivative exchanges. And we have here almost 260 million. That's big. That's really big. 260 million US dollar in stablecoins. Also here, close before the funding rate started to decline. If we check here, the leverage ratio maintains very high. So it's not losing its, its bullishness. It maintains very high, not doing a new all-time high at the moment, but it's just insane to see that the leverage ratio is lifting up while the open interest maintains, indicating they're just using less volume and more leverage once again, while the funding rate, and that's the trend, is lifting up. So indicating they're also here just demanding more longs. That's the daily view. Of course, they liquidated almost 670 bitcoins yesterday with this pump and dump in shorts, and I'm sure they liquidated some longs as well. So let us go forward. On Binance, it looks really interesting. The funding rate just pumping, dumping all the time. Right now, it maintains very high, indicating they are also here at the moment, at least, demanding more longs, while open interest and leverage ratio declined after it lifted up. That, yeah, bull trap, as mentioned, just a fake rally, then down again. So that's what happened here. We need to see. Yeah, so we see both declined. So open interest in general declined now, but we received more shorts. But however, long still the lead here. And once again, Ethereum looks much more healthy, to be honest, than Bitcoin, with 63 to 37. In my opinion, that's absolutely not healthy. Many people still expecting to go up. And we will. I mean, it's obvious. Every market prefers to go up than to go down. The way or the space to the downside is very limited, while the space to the upside, it's absolutely not limited. At least mathematically, it's not limited. And yeah, however, I think I'm still very unsure what kind of scenario, bullish scenario, we need to go up and how bulls will react then. It's to me really unclear if they are going to make, because we are running against the time right now, you know. So we are now in October. We are hitting November. I'm still, at least for the first 2 weeks of November, relatively bearish. And then they have 6 weeks to initiate something like a relief rally. If they want really to create such a relief rally for the first half of 2023, something I still think it's going to happen. Because 2023, all the crap we have seen in 2022, economies are, as described many times in the past, like a big ship. If you want to make a U-turn, it's not like a car. It takes sometimes just an hour and longer. So, and that's like an economy. So everything what happened in 2022 will start to show its face in 2023 and 2024. And they know it. They know that the whole sentiment is not going to flip to extremely bullish in 2023. They will try their best to create such kind of formal sentiment to bring retailers back, because no hedge fund, no big institutional is going to jump in, because they are waiting to reduce their order books. So who is going to absorb that? Well, only the ordinary Joe is going to do it. Otherwise, it's going to be, you know, very... And we need to see how the banking sector in Europe, for example, is going to reduce their order books in a very aggressive way or not, taking into account the conditions of some banks in the European zone, like Credit Suisse, for example. It's not part of the European zone, so from the European Union, but in Europe, and it can have big consequences to different national banks, because the Credit Suisse is, of course, well networked, and they have different, correlations with other banks. So it's really hard to say how the whole relief rally is going to play out, but in my opinion, it's the only way. It's just logic, because otherwise we will have the worst case scenario. In my opinion, that's going to be the worst case scenario. They will try with pivot, they will try whatever. It's going to end like the whole inflation fight scenario I have mentioned a few minutes ago. You can start with people, you can print again, and you can do it. It's not a problem. And short term, it will bring maybe the markets back to the green candles, but that's going to be just short term, because the disruption of your of this structural of the structure of your economy is not going to be fixed because of that. So that's what I mentioned also several times in the past. When it's easier generating fear and to change your consumer behavior because of that, than the opposite. Just to tell you everything is fine, nothing is going to happen, you can spend money again, while you see the consequences of the policy of this year and the economical performance, the supply chain disruption, the global one, and so on and so forth. It's not going to be an easy task to ignore all that to your consumer. So in my opinion, they will use maybe a pivot or statements like, well, we'll reduce less interest rates, or we will make a break, or whatever, to sell and to create FOMO. But yeah, as mentioned, it's just, in my opinion, it's just going to be a short-term effect. So we will see how banks and how institutionals will react, and mainly how institutionals will react to them, because they need to absorb as much as they can, like they are doing right now with Bitcoin as well. So let us take a look. I mean, it's obvious we will go down, at least if we take a look here. That's Binance. Even here, liquidation count reduced a lot. So matches very well to all the longs. They are still there. So we should go down back to 19,000 to liquidate all of them. And then we have here a crater or just a gap, and here as well. So we need to make bigger steps next. And even then it looks more in favor to go down more than up, at least if we check Binance. Let us check FTX next, how it looks there. And yeah, it looks similar. Wow, I don't know, that looks extremely crazy. Even here a little bit the liquidation count lifted up, increased on FTX. We had 1,200, now we have 1,800. But it's obvious that's the same here. We have this bigger gap, extremely low liquidation on the short side, much more on the long side. That's a deviation. But the structure looks very similar, very similar. People are longing with, less leverage, it seems. Okay, let us go forward. Wow, okay. Gamma walls, first of all, I mean, we can see gamma walls even at 100K. Doesn't mean that's going to work like a magnet and we will just go straight to 100K, right? But that's why I always check where is the biggest gamma close to our current price. If I don't see anything and I see something at 25K, it's obvious also for me that 25K is going to work as a magnet. But as you can see, we have a lot of concentration also on calls very close to our price action right now, or price levels, indicating we will maintain there. So that's maybe also why the price is maintaining that level. So we have a big put wall at 20K and 19K. So okay, meaning at 20K we have a bigger resistance, and 20K and 19K just a support area. On calls, that's also very interesting. We have call walls at 19k, so 19k should work as a support area. We can go down to 19k, then we need to see if they want to break to the downside, because one of the biggest call walls is at 18,750 and even 18,500. The next one would be at 25k. But also here, it's not just to say, oh, look, that's a bigger gamma wall at 25k, so the price is going to go directly to 25k, because it's not that easy. Even if here's a big of money involved just to push the price up, it's going to be very costly. So that's why I always check also here. We have, of course, at 38k, and we have also here at 40k calls. Also these calls, you know, it's so far away from the current price action. It's, in my opinion, not useful. We need to see if they maintain or even increase. That could give us a nice indicator what we should expect for end of the year. Well, the gags very high at the moment, but it's just 1 week time frame. Okay, strategies. Let us check the strategies. Wow, nothing. Only short straddle. That's the only thing that would make sense here. Everything else is looking really bad, to be honest. But it's Monday, so it's fine. So the short straddle, as many of you know, it's just a strategy where they are not expecting any big price move, right? And usually to make a nice profit, the trader should until end of October see a price of 19,500 to make the biggest profit. We have, that's the biggest one, and then we have, of course, taking into account the notional. Yeah, that's the biggest notional here at 19,500, so indicating we will maintain a price that we see at the moment, maybe even until Friday, with some volatility. I really can't expect that with the events we will have this week, we will maintain all the time 19.5. I really can't imagine that. So the next one are expecting 19k, but they are just, you know, expecting a price range between 19 and 19,500. So absolutely nothing big at all. And that's it. I mean, it's Monday, that happens, but that's really it. Everything else, it's really peanuts. Absolutely very peanuts. Nothing else. Okay, let us go forward. So let us see who is driving the market at the moment, or in general, let us have a bigger overview about the market and what's happening there. What we see here right now is that, yeah, FTX at least didn't distribute, while we can see here the aggregated one is distributing. They both, and they are distributing, and FTX, they both distributed both even more. So not sure why they are doing it. If they want to push down very hard and just buying because of that, that could be possible, but we are not talking about huge volume also related to CVD. However, what I have detected, and that's also something where, you know, I'm struggling. It's for them just easier to push the price up than to distribute. It takes much longer to distribute. And usually, what does that mean? Or in other way, is that bullish or bearish? Is that pro or contra market? In my opinion, that's a very strong indicator that the market has still a lack of demand. If you can push up the price very easy, is because the Bitcoins are available. If it takes longer to distribute, that means buyers and bulls are rare. And that's not bullish at all. So another signal where I'm still struggling what we should expect until end of the year, because I don't want to see that. I just, they can push hard, very hard to the downside. And yeah, the volume bar goes up like hell, but the price doesn't move big. And that's, you see it's very nice control, because they know if they start to sell, to distribute higher volume, the price would dump and they couldn't make the profit they want to make with such pump and dumps. And that's not good at all for the markets. Absolutely not. I mean, I don't know why many people are missing that. You can see that in the charts. You can see even in this chart here what's happening, how long it takes to distribute. It's really crazy. However, Binance here, as mentioned, I mean, they are really, that's the aggregated, that's Binance at the moment. Bitcoin collateral, look, they are not looking that bearish, and even stablecoin futures are not looking that bearish. Then we have Bitfinex, and Bitfinex here also indicating it's mainly they are distributing since here. So they needed, it seems, this push up to distribute all what they bought, even in lower levels. And well, even Coinbase is distributing at the moment, and it seems it's even if we compare the aggregated one with the Coinbase one, it looks really similar, like a one-to-one copy. That's really strange, because usually Coinbase is not driving the markets. At least Binance was the main driver of the markets, of the price, and even of the aggregated price action here. But this time it's just a little bit more different. If we go and check our entities, retailers, increasing. This guy's not doing anything. This guy is not doing anything. So, where's the accumulation? Where is this huge accumulation that some newspapers are talking about? I'm missing something, or they knew something, but I mean, if I check their sources, it's crap. It's just, in my opinion, it's just to try to bring some FOMO, it seems. But I don't know. Not doing anything. Declining. So we will go down. And of course, in entities mostly related to exchanges, going up. It's not bullish. Absolutely not bullish. So I have my problems to be bullish at the moment, to be honest, because yeah, they can make pump and dumps all the time, but I don't see a solid bullish indicator, not one at the moment. Yeah, it was once again the market maker was the main driver, it seems, of this pump and dump, fake ready, or whatever, how you want to call it. Once again, they don't need to send huge amounts. It's absolutely because they use different sources, right? They use Bitcoin collateral futures. I guess they also use stablecoin futures. They use OTC, they use central exchanges like Binance, for example, and every time, that was my main confirmation after the waste ratio declined, that's We will go up, but we will go down once again, and that's what happened. And right now it's indicating me we will go down. We will not even retest 19,750. We will go to 19k, retest that area, and maybe even go to 18,750 once again. Then maybe up again. We will see. I mean, I don't care. I'm shorting at the same time, so give me the money, then let us go up once again. I will make my money with the long afterwards. It's crazy. It's really crazy what they are doing. Bitcoin reserves on centralized exchanges lifting up once again. Not big at all. Absolutely not. I mean, we are talking about 7,000 bitcoins. It's really not big at all. But we have outflows at the same time while it's rising, you know. So it's not 7,000. It's maybe 12,000, 14,000 bitcoins or more. I really don't know. And well, what I mentioned, I mean, it's crazy. Futures and spot market is dying. It's really dying. At the moment, it's just dying. They need some reserves to survive that, in my opinion. I think they are also planning to see such a relief rally at the end of the year or something. Yeah, and that's it. That's it from here. So let us go forward. So once again, Coinbase here at 18,200, reinforcing even here at 17.8, reinforcing the wall. So even placing new ones, indicating me that 18,750 could be the next step. They are at least expecting something, so I would be careful here. And maybe it's also just a preparation for tomorrow, you know, and for this week, because in my opinion it's going to be volatile. We absorbed, they triggered this sell, so they triggered this sell order here, but they are still waiting at 20k, and at the moment controlling also here the price in a very nice way. And that's it. I mean, a lot of liquidity waiting there, and as mentioned, yeah, it looks like a lot. Even they reduced a lot of liquidity. It looks a lot. We also have, as you can see, a lot of sell orders waiting all the way up. So I would be extremely careful with thinking we can't go more down just because we have so much liquidity to the down, because nobody knows how much they want to sell. You know, we know that just the market maker, if we go back, for example, the market makers still have 4,860,000 bitcoins. I mean, they just need 160,000 bitcoins, and they can push the price without any problem to 15k, 14k. So it's up to them how much they want to sell, in my opinion. And just with this bullish scenario of a relief rally until or for end of the year, it doesn't make sense to reduce that much. But I don't know how big their bags is, and if they want to eliminate their bags, for example. It's something we can't see that on metrics. So we need to see, in my opinion, 19,000 should be the next step, maintain there here a little bit, and then maybe even go a little bit more down. But meanwhile, we can go a little bit more up, a little bit more down, and maintain once again just all that range here, that tiny one, because it's full. We have sell orders to the upside, a lot of sell orders, a lot of buy orders to the downside, and I mean that's new. That wasn't just before, you know. I mean, you can see that, and that's on Coinbase. So they are right now, if it's much more the message. If you want to go up, you are well invited, because we want to sell here. And of course, I mean, nobody knows if they want to, I mean, if they are going to remove all these walls, nobody knows. Same can happen here as well. So we need to see. Deribit. Also here, just limitations to the way up, not to the downside. Oh, come on. Bitstamp. More to the downside than to the upside. Yeah. But they stop here to bring another wall at 18,400. So as mentioned, I would be very careful. It's I can't tell you up or down. Even I'm expecting more down, but you know. Binance Spot. Also here, look that. Does that look bullish to you? I mean, yes, we have a lot here to the downside, but if you check, that's almost the same. I would even say we have a little bit more to the upside. It's not bullish at all. So I wouldn't long with 125, just expecting we will go up like hell from here. It's not going to happen. It looks very controlled. Bitfinex Spot waiting at 18,600. And I think that's going to be today's local bottom, 18,600. Something like there. FTX perp. Pff, look that. Once again, FTX doing it. Limiting extremely the way up. You want to go up. Okay, no problem. Trigger our shorts. Yeah, it's OKEX spot. Wow. Okay. OKEX. Someone, wow. Sold big. Kraken. Yeah, also here, once again, they are preparing something. I think that's because of this week. It's going to be, once again, a tough one. Nothing on BitMEX. Binance Futures. Pff. Also here, look that. I mean, pff, more to the upside, almost more to the upside than to the downside. Oh, they want to short. Also here, limiting the way down at 18,500. So, in my opinion, the best what we can do is short. More than long. Yeah. FTX spot. I don't see any wall here. Only here 20k and new wall at 15. Reduced here, but some new walls there, so, but also nothing big. It can take a little bit. I think really at the moment the whole price, if we don't have any big event, it's not doing anything. It was, I don't know if it was Friday. I think it was Friday. For a moment the price was just stabilized. It didn't anything for a few minutes. Never have seen such kind of, I don't know if that was maybe my app, but I was like, hey, what's happening? Why is nothing happening here? But yeah, it looks so less activity. It's just in hands of few, and we need to figure out what they have in mind. Only then we can make a nice gain here. Okay, that's it. Let us go forward. So my strategy here is very clear. I mean, we have 18,750 here at 18,600. We know that Bitfinex is waiting with the buy order for spot. We also can see that once again we got rejected at 19,000, almost 19,700, where my white box is, like it happened just before. And afterwards, every time we go down. And this time, I mean, we have a main POC here, so it's obvious we should bounce here, go down, maintain here, and then go down even more, maintain here, and then here. Something like I would expect as next price action for the next 24, 48 hours, something like. It would match very well. No, not really. So that would be 48. So in the next 3 days or maybe the whole week, something like that, where we don't see anything big. Depends how they will react to the results of the economical events. Let me just okay. At the moment, I really don't see any big bullish scenario, to be honest. Really not, because you know that was a bull trap, worked. They tried to break out, failed. Here again, yes, of course, the same happened here. That was a bear trap, okay, and we tried to break out here. And that's the most interesting part. People say bulls don't allow. No, it's not the bulls. Bulls are just reacting. It's the bears. They stop to sell. The question is always why. Why they still to sell there? They make a big pressure here to the downside, and then, and I was witness. I was front of the screen when it happened. And they push down very hard, then they stop to sell. And they let the price retrace once again, and then they push up. And that it doesn't make sense. For me, that's not fear. That's it looks like a little bit like distribution. But I mean, distribution at 19K without to push down, why? I mean, maybe they said, okay, 19K, it's a price where we will find liquidity, where also exchanges are interested to buy, and we can sell there. We don't need to go more to the downside because we are not going to accumulate. We are not going to absorb from retailers. We are not interested. And that's a little bit what I'm seeing. And that's not bullish at all. Absolutely not, because it's not about if we can go up and have a relief rally or not. It's about how is 2023 and 2024 then going to look like. And we know what they did before 2020 and why we had these bull runs. They accumulated a lot. It's not happening. They are distributing at 19K. I mean, even the last bull should say, what is happening here? But they are not. I'm really, wow. It's a little bit scary, to be honest. It's really a little bit scary what's happening. Yeah, so for me, it's obvious. We need to go up above of these 20,500 or almost 20,600, maintain there, bounce here and go up. So I'm not going to make any illustration here how it should look like, because that's the only way how it should work. That's bullish. If that happens, that's bullish. That's bullish. Maybe also not only short term, also maybe midterm. Not that here, not that here. That's bullish. Retesting areas go up. That's bullish. That's where I can tell you, go long. Go long. You don't need to hedge anymore. Go long. Everything is fine. They are doing a great job. That's here. It's a trap. And that's what they like to do all the time. That's what they did yesterday night. That's why they are doing all the time. To have a solid confirmation, let them retest. If they don't retest, it's a fake. Always. That's what they are doing all the time. They are not retesting. And just push up very hard. That's it. FOMO. So, so for a bullish solid indication for long or midterm, we will have time. We will not miss the train. Absolutely not. But at the moment, it looks really, we are going to retest that area here. Let us check. That's 18,000. Yeah, that's going to be the next, in my opinion, the next step. So we went up, and now we will go down once again. And usually, I can imagine that we are going after we, just decoupled from the trend line, something where I said that's going to happen, blah blah blah. We had some failed attempts, and then finally it happens. They let the price retrace to push up afterwards, and as you can see, it would match once again. If they start to go down, we would, if they really want to make very hard, we would go here to 18.6 or something, and then afterwards up again. But in my opinion, that's going to be a process, just because of this week. And with all the events we have, I mean, I show you the events, so to make it clear why I think, I mean, for me, the biggest one is, that's going to be interesting. That's going to happen tomorrow. CB, consumer confidence. Then, of course, interest rate decisions depends, can be extremely bearish for DXY. Then, what is that? I can read that. Durable, good orders could be also interesting. But that's going to be the highlight, the GDP for Q3. And what should I say? I mean, okay, GDP, Germany, CPI, that's interesting, but it's not going to have a big effect to the price. But this one, without any doubt, it's going to show us, maybe it's going to trigger a very wild Friday once again, because, that's an indicator for the US inflation once again. And we will see. I mean, if they keeps declining, usually the price should go up. If it goes up, it should go down, because it's indicating that Fed, at least with their narrative, we want to fight the inflation, it will confirm that they need to be even more hawkish, or at least maintain their current policy to fight the ghost. That's it for today. I'm sorry, I'm really tired at the moment, and and foggy in my mind. Hopefully it was very insightful. Thank you very much for all your support. Big love. See you tomorrow once again. Bye bye, your Inspo.